Hello and welcome back to Beer versus Beer. Today I've got two giants going up against each other, two of my favorite brewers and two of my favorite beers. For those of you who don't know, I'm a big Weissbier or Hefeweizen fan. And today I've got a showdown. And I'm once again using my Andechser glasses, and in this case it's actually appropriate because one of them is an Andechser. I've got the Kloster Andechser. This is their Weissbier Hell, Andechser Weissbier Hell, and that is at 5.5% alcohol by volume. It is going up against what is sometimes called the world's oldest brewery, and that's the Weihenstephaner Hefe Weissbier at 5.4%, I believe. Is that correct? Yes, 5.4%. So very close in percentage. Two of my favorite beers, head to head. I have no idea who's going to win this one. I've had both of them numerous times, or probably had the Weihenstephaner more often than the Andechser. Let's go ahead and pour these out. Because they do take a while to finish because they usually have rather large heads. Oh, it smells so good. So, just to get this part out of the way, gee, we have Weissbiers. Do we think maybe they'll smell a little bit like banana and clove? Maybe, just maybe. So that, for sure, they'll have in common. One might have more of that flavor than the other. More of that aroma, I should say. So these do tend to take a little while. You need some patience to pour these and let them sit. Especially if you want to be able to fit that last little bit with the yeast at the end. Let me check. Yeah, I still got quite a bit left on that one. While we're waiting on that, let's show the difference. So let me put these in view. Andechser Weihenstephaner. And this gives you somewhat of an idea of the look. I would say both very similar in color. You probably can't tell, but from my vantage point, with the light shining at me, this is just a tad darker than this. On my camera, it looks a lot darker, but from my view, it doesn't look that much darker. Matter of fact, let's see. I'm going to shine. I hope this works. I'm going to shine this through it. Oh, that's way too bright. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's not going to work. Never mind. Anyway, I thought I could show you the difference, but I can't. Anyway, yeah, I mean, they're very, very close. The Weihenstephaner is just a hair darker around the edges and right down the middle. I gotta make sure I get that goodness off the bottom. I never know if I quite get all of it. Oh, there you go. That's probably the best I've ever done. I usually don't do the rolly thing between my hands. Maybe that was the difference. There's still some on the bottom, so I didn't get all of it. Still got a lot of this Andechser left. These are both 1 pint. Was it 1 pint? 0.9 fluid ounces. I wish they would just say 16.9 fluid ounces. It's weird to have pints and ounces in the same thing. Let's do 16.9 fluid ounces. It's the same thing, right? Just a tad over a pint. never had that much yeast come in. I wonder if that'll affect the flavor more than I'm used to. This one still got quite a bit left. I'm gonna have to hold off. Looks like the Andechs is retaining its head more. Anyway, so both of these are from the Bavaria region. Andechs, my understanding, is sort of, I think it's in the southwest of Munich, and then Weihenstephaner is from, I think, Munich proper. One of these might be in Freising, which is just outside of Munich. I'm not sure. I don't see. Doesn't actually say. Anyway, I'm sure you can look that up. Oh, Weihenstephaner's Freising. I thought one of them was. Yeah. And then Andechs is close. It's not far from. Oh yeah, I got a lot more of the yeast on that too, I think, this time than I usually do. I usually just swirl and then do it. I usually don't do this, but that actually seemed to do a better job of getting it out. Not much left in the bottom here. I'm interested to see how that affects the flavors. I might not have had a properly poured one before. So again, here they are, the Andechs and the Weihenstephaner. And all right, Prost. Which one should I start with? Wow, very bright. This one, not quite as bright, but more banana, I think. More of that banana smell. This one might have more of the clove. I'm not really the best at knowing all of these. I know I saw one reason I liked the Andechs, or even looked into it, is I saw that it won 2 separate blind taste tests against some top-rated Weissbiers, and both of these YouTubers blindly picked it as their number one. And one of them said that it had notes of pear, and I can see that. It does kind of remind me of a pear smell. This more of that classic banana clove. So in case you're wondering, I do the short sniffs, a series of short sniffs like a dog, and then a longer sniff. It kind of gives you different experiences. I'm not sure which smell I like better. Let's see, sorry. I think my nose is getting a little bit fatigued. Can't really even smell them anymore. Anyway, let's just do some tasting. Let's find out. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. I'm even tasting a little bit of pear note. And I don't think I would have thought of that had they not said it, but once I heard about it, and that was a while ago that I heard it, but it's stuck in my head, I can kind of taste the pear. Especially when I do the retronasal breathing out. I do recommend that. I used to never do that. And now that I do both a swallow without doing the retronasal and with it, I do pick up different notes. So what that means is, after you swallow, keep your mouth closed and breathe out of your nose. And you will pick up new notes, which then adds to the flavor experience. Yeah, that's good. It's really good. The first time I ever had a Weissbier was I went on a ski trip where I was visiting a friend of mine in Maine, and he took me to this little, bar on top of a mountain in Maine, and they had Schneiderweisse. I don't know which one it was. I just assumed it was Tap 7, but it may have actually been like Tap 1 or something, and I didn't know that. I just remember it being called Schneiderweisse Hefe something. That's what I remembered. And I was blown away, and I became a fan of Weissbier ever since then. So, but I didn't drink beer for many years, really. So when I started getting back into it, I was drawn to Weissbiers just because I had that knowledge in my head that I used to love them. And then, sometimes you get away from that, you start drinking other things. And it's not usually a lot of people's favorite beer, but it has remained for me one of my favorites. Others I've grown to love, maybe as much. Like lately I've been into Doppelbock, as you guys might know from one of my earlier videos. The last one I recorded, actually. And I like Weizenbox as well, as I'm sure we'll have episodes on that. But man, I go back to a good Weissbier, and it's like, oh yeah, this is like home. Now I remember why I like them. Okay, interesting. Okay, right off the bat, let me clean my palate a little bit. Right off the bat, let me get these back in here. Right off the bat here. My initial impression is that despite the look of this being darker, it tastes lighter. Like it's not as potent of a taste. I mean, it's still delicious, but not as complex or deep, maybe, is the way of describing it. It's still absolutely delicious. Okay. They're both changing as I go through this. All right, now that I've been drinking them for a little while, I'm starting to get that sort of metallic-y flavor that I've mentioned in some of my other videos. It's not really a bitterness, and it's not quite a sourness. It's more of like a metallic-y, just aftertaste or finish. It's kind of like that sensation if you eat too many kiwis, but not quite as strong as that, where your tongue has that sensation. Similar to that, but more subdued. This is hard, man. These are both so very good. Picked up a little orange on that pass, which I was not expecting. Yeah, more of a citrusy, almost orange flavor. Not unlike a Belgian wit beer. Um, hmm. Okay, this is confusing me. On that pass, I got a bit more of a lemony note on this one. Okay. I feel like I keep changing my mind as I go. It's very good. All right, how am I going to decide between these two? Oh, see, I'm being more aroma now. More of that classic banana clove. Huh. Now the Weihenstephaner is starting to taste a little bit more substantial and thick than it did before. It's a tough one, y'all. All right, I must admit, I've done, not on video, but I've done side-by-side comparisons with Weissbiers before, and I always find it difficult because they're just so similar. It's really hard for me to choose between these two. Excuse me. All right, which one would I want? I tend to like orange more than lemon. But I really do like pear. Oh, that's very refreshing. Okay. All right, so far it's like my favorites, whichever one I tasted last. Not very helpful. All right, early on, like first sips, I thought the Andechs had it in the bag. That might be changing. Man. Okay, so I think this is one where we're going to have to do a rematch at some point, simply because it's so close. And at different points in the bout, I thought one or the other was doing better. Like I said at the beginning, I thought the Andechs had a deeper, more complex, richer flavor. And then I started picking up more of an orange note versus a lemony note. More of an orange note on the Weihenstephaner and more of a lemony note on the Andechs. I tend to like orange a little bit more. So, yeah, this is a tough one. Okay. I wanted to be very non-committal. Hmm. They're both really, really good. Okay, so for now, I'm going to say this. Andechs was winning at the beginning, but Weihenstephaner's taken it. And that does actually surprise me, but let me know if you want a rematch.